I've pinned out my pieces onto the fabric now, so I'm going to start cutting. And to do this, keep your bottom blade of the scissor touching the table at all times. I prefer to cut, well, I'm right-handed, so I prefer to cut around the pattern piece from the right-hand side. And as I'm going, I'm keeping the fabric down, but I'll just start to peel back any bits that are getting in the way. But you just want to sort of keep everything flat and not be lifting things up, moving around. Keep control of the fabric and the pattern pieces as much as you can. Once I've cut my pattern piece, I'm then going to snip into all the notches. So you can use smaller scissors if you want. You want to make sure the end of your blade is quite sharp here so that you can get a good little snip. And go around each notch. That's every single notch around the pattern piece. And snip into that notch by about 2 or 3 millimeters. You don't want to go too wide because that could start to cut too far into the seam allowance and you'll get a little frayed edge. And you also don't want to go too short and not be able to see it as you're sewing. So just a good little 3mm snip in on those corners. This is a bit easier when you're working with a paper pattern. With a card pattern, it's a little bit more fiddly. You're also going to pay attention to your other information on the pattern piece, and that could be the holes. And on this pattern piece, I've got 2 holes to signify my buttonhole. And I'm just going to take chalk and rub over those holes there. And that leaves a mark on the fabric like this. I'm going to do exactly the same thing to the other end. And then also, I'm going to take my pattern piece off, turn it over and mark the other side because I've got a pair. So I want both pieces to have this information on. So go around all of your pieces, cutting, notching and marking information in exactly the same way.